Woohoo! Alrighty, time to break out the acrylic paint. So you may have paint in tubes or you may have paint in bottles, but you're going to look on it and make sure that it says acrylic. So what you'll need is you'll need your paint, you'll need a paint palette. In a pinch, a plate will work, but acrylic paint will stick. So it can be hard to get off of stuff, so a paint palette is probably best. You'll also need your brushes. Brushes come in a variety of types and sizes, and it can be really confusing about which one to use. So we're going to go over them in just a second. To paint, you'll also need a paper towel or something to wipe your paint off on, and at least a jar of water or a cup. Whatever you have works best. Get to know your paintbrush. All right, so here we go. The little hairs are called the bristles, and then what attaches them to the handle is called the ferrule. That is the metal part, and it crimps the little bristles and it crimps onto the handle, so there's a little bump. And as you can see, the handle is long, and on the very end you'll find a number and maybe the name of the brush. The number is the size. It's pretty cool. So if you ever lose your brush, if you remember the number, you can find another one of the same type and the same size. The easiest way to remember what brush to use, if you think of big area, big brush, little area, little brush. But let's get to know these bad boys. The first one's flat. It's rectangular shape. It has longer hair, holds more paint. It's really good for shading and blending and filling in really big areas. This one is called a bright. It has a rectangular shape and it has shorter hair, and it's really good for blending, dabbing, and scratchy strokes. You'll notice that it is also flat. Another helpful one to have is a liner brush. So it has long or short pointed bristles. The ferrule is round, and it is a highliner, outliner, very good for details and lettering. Another very helpful brush to have in your arsenal is an angular shader. You can see that the bristles are cut at an angle, and it has a flat ferrule. It's good for filling in corners and tight spaces and also highlighting. It produces very precise lines and curved strokes. A brush that you will use a lot is a round brush. So the bristles have a rounded or pointed tip. The ferrule, the metal part, is also round. It holds a lot of water usually. You can see the belly of the bristles is kind of fat, so it holds a lot of paint, and it's good for detailing, broad lines, small strokes, and washes. Very good overall brush. If you are wanting to write script or do long flowing lines, then a rigger or script brush is really good to have. You can know easily which brush this is because the hairs on them are very, very long. And the reason for this is it helps absorb your hand shaking, and it keeps the lines nice and smooth. If you find a flat brush that has a round tip, but yet the ferrule, the metal part, is still flat, it's called a filbert. It has a flat or oval shape, and usually a flat ferrule, but sometimes it's round. The bristles are medium to long, and it's very good for blending or soft round edges. And then we have a fan brush that has a fan shape, a flat ferrule, and the bristles fan out. It's really good for texture effects, blending and feathering, stippling trees and foliage. Just use these with care because you can kill them very easily and ruin the bristles. This brush is called a mop brush, and it looks like a makeup brush. It has a teardrop shape, a round ferrule, so the metal part is round. It has very soft bristles, and it's very good for blurring, softening, and blending areas, and also is used for cleaning up excess water on paintings. For our purposes with acrylic paint, you will probably want to use a flat brush, an angular shader, one of the round brushes, and probably a liner brush as well. But these are just a few of the many paintbrushes out there, and as you're digging through your art box now, you'll be able to identify some of them.